Good evening. This is CTV News for Wednesday, October 7th. I'm Gina Barty.
And I'm Rochelle Metzger. Thank you for joining us tonight. Well, Maryland Congressman Steny Hoyer and other House Democrats joined the group NDD United at a rally for a stronger American future this afternoon on the lawn of the U.S. Capitol. Organizers say the event is a way to highlight the need for a bipartisan agreement, and they're calling on Congress to raise the sequester caps on both defense and non-defense spending priorities.
We've been living with this, not only these austere budget cuts, but this broken process. We're very frustrated, but we're also very hopeful because there are signs that both sides recognize the need to get together and negotiate a broader budget deal. So we're hopeful that this rally gives members on both sides of the aisle and the administration the support they need to do what's right, and that is to get the American people a broader budget deal that locks in higher levels of spending.
According to its website, NDD United is an alliance of national, state, and local organizations that work to protect investments in core government initiatives. In the nation's capital, they're known as non-defense discretionary, or NDD, programs. Well, the planned closure of Laurel Regional Hospital has prompted new legislation. Today, the Prince George's County Council announced an emergency measure that will give council members the power to decide if a government-funded hospital can shut down. Bill PG 40616 requires the Board of Health to give officials a 90 days notice before closure. More than 100 employees at Laurel have already received layoff notices from Dimensions Healthcare.
The County Council adopts a new legislation aimed at bringing food trucks to Prince George's. The 3 bills passed will beef up regulations for the mobile units. One bill will establish food truck hubs in targeted locations to encourage economic development and healthier food options to underserved communities. The second clarifies fixed locations for temporary periods of time, while the third passed legislation will establish business license and health and safety requirements. Meanwhile, Montgomery's County Council unanimously approves a bill that will extend operating hours for food trucks, which will go in effect by late January 2016. Montgomery County is going down in history as the first major locality to ban cosmetic pesticides for lawns. Bill 5214 was passed by the County Council in a 6-3 vote yesterday. The controversial measure will prohibit the use of toxic chemicals on both county-owned and private lawns. It will also restrict the use of certain insecticides on playgrounds, mulch recreation areas, and children's facilities. The enacted bill takes effect for private lawns on January 1st, 2018. County parks will have until 2020 to execute a plan.
Breaking down barriers to health equity in the Hispanic community is the focus of an annual forum held today in Washington, D.C. The Latino Health Disparities Conference brought together regional leaders, policymakers, and community advocates to the George Washington University campus. Panelists discussed emerging research and intervention strategies to reduce chronic conditions like obesity and diabetes, as well as problems such as substance abuse and gang violence.
And their people are really, they're fighting for the basic kinds of things to survive, as opposed to flourishing or being in better health. So if you want better health, you've got to put some, you've got to increase access and enable people to, to address some of those survival needs a little better.
The event at GW's Milken Institute School of Public Health was sponsored by the Metropolitan Washington Council of Governments and the Regional Primary Care Coalition. For more information on Latino health equity and local research projects, log on to avancegw.org.
Well, Governor Larry Hogan is getting prepared for his last round of chemotherapy. The Republican who was diagnosed with B-cell non-Hodgkin lymphoma in June will undergo his 6th and final treatment this weekend. Hogan went to social media thanking those who have supported him since his diagnosis. He also asked that people who are keeping him in prayer, that they also think of other patients who are battling cancer far more aggressive than his. And we will most definitely keep him in our prayers. You're watching CTV News. I'm Gina Barty.
And I'm Rochelle Metzger.